Hi there. Welcome to your first day on the job as a millwright for CLVR Bottling Co. Our production teams work around the clock to ensure that our products get to the retailers on time. Let's head over to the workbench now so you can put on your personal protective gear. Now you are protected from the dangers that can occur even during preventative maintenance. Let's teleport over to Production Plant 3 now to work on some preventative maintenance. Use your watch. This is Production Plant 3, which is the assembly line for one of our key products. We will be conducting preventative maintenance on the assembly line motors. PM is the regular and routine maintenance of equipment and other assets. It helps to prevent costly and unexpected equipment failures. Go over to the motors now. We are performing a rough shaft alignment on these motors to look for soft foot. Soft foot is an industry term that is used for machine frame distortion. The distortion is caused when one foot or more on the machine differs in height from the other feet. Walk over to the workbench now. I will pull out the motor for you to work on. CLVR Co. checks all the motors here in Production Plant 3 for rough shaft every 3 months. All of the items on the workbench are used for a rough shaft alignment check. Pick up the straight edge ruler from the workbench now. Walk over to the motor now, and then we will get started. Okay. Good. Set the straight edge ruler down along the motor. Ensure that it is lying straight and flat along the edge of one of the coupling halves. The coupling half is the connector that is only threaded at one end. Okay, so you have the straight edge resting on both coupling halves. Only rest the straight edge on one coupling half. Try it again. Good work. You can now see the gap on the coupling side. Grab your alignment shim now. Place it in the gap between the coupling and the straight edge ruler. Great. Grab some more shims of the same thickness from your toolbox and go to the other side of the motor. Alignment shims are used to correct misaligned components when it is not necessary to replace the components. You got them fast. That's an organized toolbox. Great work. Now you need to place shims of the same thickness under all of the feet of the machine. This will raise the motor the same amount as we measured using the straight edge. Do that now. Fantastic work. We want our rough alignments to be within 10 thou, typically. Inspect the bottom of the motor against the base plate. The base along the whole bottom of the motor needs to touch the entire base plate of our production machine. Do you notice any gaps between the motor and the base plate? Put your shims under both corners to bring them up to ensure that the motor is resting only on the feet and not in the center of the motor. We are moving on to soft foot. Remember that soft foot is another term for machine frame distortion. You need to tighten the bolts that hold the motor down. Grab the torque wrench. Good. You are going to use them to loosen one bolt at a time. grab your 1.5 thou feeler gauge and see if you can place it under the corner of the inside of the motor foot. A feeler gauge allows you to check for angular soft foot. Place the feeler gauge on the inside of the motor foot to resolve the angular soft foot. Nice. Now correct the soft foot on the other motor by repeating this process. The soft foot on the other motor may be a different thickness. To correct it, add a shim under the foot that is the same thickness as the gap that was just measured.
Hey, maintenance team. We have an emergency stoppage in production plant 2. The conveyor belt on line 7 shut down. I have 47 line workers shut down, and each minute costs us $500. I need this line running again accurately and quickly.
Time is money, so let's move quickly. That's a lot of lost time and revenue. Okay, we need to shut down the conveyor belt to ensure that it won't turn on during the repair. Shut it off now. The pressure is on. It looks like the conveyor belt slipped too far to the left on the end of the line, causing the entire line to shut down. This could have been resolved through preventative maintenance. We will need to complete an incident report later. Walk around the conveyor belt now to look for the source of the problem. You found it. Excessive slippage. Great work. So the problem is that the drum was slipping and caused the belt to slip to the left. We can resolve this with belt tensioning. Go grab a wrench and a socket wrench. I'll tell you what to do next. Now, use your socket wrench to untighten the bearing housing nuts on both sides of the drum. Excellent. Now loosen the jam nuts. They are used as a lock nut to prevent loosening the bolted joint. Loosen them so we can adjust the tensioning nuts. Don't forget to loosen the jam nut on the other side as well. Keep going. Adjust the other side of the tensioning nut. You're doing great. Now the drum is well positioned. We need to tighten all the nuts on both sides. Let's tighten the jam nuts first. One more jam nut to tighten up. Go to the other side of the conveyor. Almost there. Do the housing nuts now. That's solid work, but it didn't fix the problem. You need to troubleshoot around the carrying rollers. Great, you found the trouble roller. Let's loosen its nuts on both sides. Okay, untighten the other side now. You need to push the carrying rollers towards the conveyor head. Good job, you fixed it. Now tighten the roller's nuts to prevent it sliding off again. Fast and efficient work. Fantastic. It's important to clean up your tools and check the area before you turn the conveyor belt back on. We can finally slow down for a moment as we turn the conveyor belt back on. Magnificent work! The staff can return to work now and everyone is happy. Great job! Let's go back to the office and enter a report with the details of this reactive maintenance associated with this repair. Things certainly look different from up here. Let's head to the end of the hall, and we'll get started on that incident report.
Hey, this is Sean in Loading Zone 4. We need you to come over here right away. We need your professional guidance with some crane hand signals. We can get started as soon as you're here.
Let's get to Loading Zone 4. Our reports will have to wait. You're in high demand today.
Hey, glad you're here to help. We need to put this large crate on the top shelf in that pocket space. We need you to help with the flagging and lifting signals. Go and stand in place by those safety cones. Alright, Kevin is our crane operator. Signal to Kevin when you're ready to begin. Make sure that you hold your arms out front and high so Kevin can see them. We need to raise the load, but watch out for that first row of racking. Good. That's enough height to avoid the first row of shelves. Use your hand signals to have the crate raised over the top of the shelf. Good so far. We need to extend this load to the second row of racking. Have the crane boom up now. Raise the load until it is above the racking. Nicely done. Now extend the boom until it is above the second rack. You'll see the empty space in the rack. That's where this crate is going to be placed. Wow, impressive work. Signal to stop the boom. That looks good. Let's get the load lowered into place. Slowly lower it down now. Make sure that it's clear of the other items. Stop! It's gonna hit the crate on the first row. Emergency stop! That was close. Okay, let's try that again. Swing the load horizontally to the left. Lower the load now and set it into place. Almost there. Got it!
Fantastic work. Those were some tough hand signals, but you're a pro. Thanks for your help on this job. That was a busy day. You never know what the next task will be when you're a millwright. See you tomorrow.